Welcome to another episode of the Area 210 podcast with Mike Jimenez and Joe Garcia. Make sure to subscribe and hit that like button. Join the discussion as we broadcast to you live from beautiful West San Antonio. And remember to tip your host as it helps the show grow.
My name's Mike Jimenez. That's Joe Garcia, and this is the newly branded Area 210 podcast coming at you from the west side of San Antonio. Again, I'm Mike. That's Joe. We're going to go for about an hour and a half talking sports, pop culture, and nostalgia. Joe, we are inching closer and closer to 2,100 YouTube subscribers. We're getting closer by the day.
Yeah.
And we're going to party. Not this weekend, but the following weekend. We have set the date, January 25th. It's going to be a long night. Get a babysitter. Get an Uber. This is not going to be family friendly. I'm sorry.
No, man.
Get a sitter.
This is for the adults, dude. This is for the necios. You know, they've been clamoring for this for quite some time. They've been saying when we passed 2,000, what did they want? Karaoke.
They wanted karaoke.
Yeah.
And the fact of the matter is that when we got to 1,000, party was had. It was family friendly because, you know, people wanted to have like just like a dinner or something like that, right?
Yeah. Pizza place.
Get some pizza, right?
Yeah.
Karaoke, there's no family karaoke unless you're in somebody's living room.
I mean, you could be doing 2 Live Crew.
I know. Speaking of which, it's funny that you brought that up.
Oh, no.
My girlfriend and I hung out this weekend, and she has one of those Fire Sticks that basically has every movie known to man.
Oh, yeah.
I showed her Full Metal Jacket for the first time ever.
Yeah?
She had never seen it. You mentioned 2 Live Crew.
Yeah.
The part of the movie where she made me turn it off, where she was like, I'm done with this movie, is when the Vietnamese hooker comes up to the 2 guys and goes, me so horny, me love you long time. She was like, done.
Like, I'm done.
She was like, done. She was actually happy that that guy killed the drill instructor.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so first of all, it's funny that I've always mentioned the fact that I've never seen these classic movies growing up. Now, Full Metal Jacket I did see because my friends in high school and whatnot, right? But my girlfriend is just like me in that all these classics she's never seen, dude. She's never seen. So Private Leonard, she ruins movies for me, Joe, every single time by bringing up something that I didn't realize, okay? She ruined Forgetting Sarah Marshall for me.
Okay.
Remember towards the end of Forgetting Sarah Marshall, this movie is basically 20 years old, so spoiler alert. Remember when the main character of Forgetting Sarah Marshall briefly hooks up with his ex for like 10 seconds and then stops her from the sex act and then goes and apologizes to the girl that he's dating? And she takes him back. My girlfriend has ripped that whole plot line to shreds, saying, imagine if I had done that to you. And it's like, oh my God. So she ruins every movie. So how does she ruin Full Metal Jacket?
Okay.
Gomer Pyle, Leonard, right? The character that always messes up. She goes, you do realize he's special needs, right? And I had never taken that into consideration.
Really?
So I'm going to show a photo of Leonard here. Remember towards the end of the movie, Leonard goes, well, the middle part of the movie, Leonard kind of goes insane and kills the drill instructor and kills himself.
After they beat him with the freaking soap and
with the zest bars. My girlfriend was so pissed off about that, man. She was so pissed off. She goes, I cannot believe he was entrusted to take care of him. And he was the one who beat him the most. Joker.
Yeah.
Right? She goes, you do realize that he was special needs and that it was overboard and that they should have taken care of Leonard. He probably shouldn't have been there in the first place. Joe, have you ever considered Leonard to be somebody on the spectrum of some sort?
No, not so much. I just thought, everybody has a whooping boy, right? Like you have your group of friends, right?
Yeah.
Or you're on a team, right? You play football, whatever.
Yeah.
There's always that one guy that everybody gives shit to.
Yeah.
Right? Always making fun of him, kicks him around or what have you. But that's your dude, like if you could do that to him, but anybody else did that to him,
right?
He'd still, oh, no. You haven't put in on this.
So Sam Salinas reaches out to us. By the way, you can be part of the show by taking part in our chat, which is powered by MCS General Contracting. He says, that is messed up. Your girl is wrong, Mike. She watched that movie through today's effed up lens. But it's funny because now I can't unsee it, Joe.
But look, it's Fernandez. He says, nah, that's Marine Corps boot camp. Hey, man, that boot camp ain't no joke. I've had cousins that have gone on to be Marines, right?
Yeah.
And one of the last acts they have you all do when you're in the boot camp is you put a full pack on, right?
Right.
And you jump into this big pool and you sink all the way to the bottom and you have to come all the way back up. And they tell you the more you struggle, the longer it's going to take you to get up. And if you pass out, we revive you.
We'll figure it out.
Yeah, I mean, that's the way it is, you know?
But the whole thing about the jelly donut, when it was found in his locker that was unlocked, right? So that never would have been found if he hadn't if he would just simply have locked his locker, right?
Yeah.
But how everyone gets in trouble instead of Leonard anymore. Like punishing Leonard did nothing. So now it's punishing the unit, right?
Yeah.
And because of that, they all turn against him. And we're halfway through the movie. And at this point, my girlfriend's exhausted because she's like, I cannot take them yelling at this special needs kid.
Man.
Right. And then all of a sudden, the second part of the second act starts off, which is basically them doing an ass shot of the Vietnamese prostitute. And she's going, $5 to buku, me so horny, me love you long time.
To live crew. Somebody's doing that at the karaoke party.
And I was trying to explain to her that that's kind of like back in the day when Warren G did the Regulators.
Yeah.
Nate Dogg, you know how they did the beginning, that one snippet of Young Guns. And I was trying to explain that they took the snippet from this, and at this point she didn't care. She was like, cut the movie, I'm done.
She bowed.
I'm done. So watching every movie with her is a unique experience because just like me a few years ago, I had never seen them either.
Make her watch Big Trouble in Little China with you.
Dude, she will not watch that movie.
Come on, dude.
She will not. That's a terrible, terrible movie. Now, someone did ask the question. I saw a little bit earlier if I have seen Scarface. I saw Scarface for the first time about 2 years ago. It was all right. I didn't not like it. It was all right. It was kind of weird seeing, a white guy, an Italian guy play a Cuban. I mean, and I know that's Al Pacino.
Yeah, man.
But still.
I love that
It's
movie,
brown
dude.
face.
No,
She was
dude.
doing brown face.
I love that movie.
Al Pacino was doing brown face and Scarface. And here's the
wasn't,
thing.
Mike. That was just him, bro.
I saw the black version of Scarface first, and I fell in love with that movie, which is New Jack City. Okay, I remember New Jack City coming out in the beginning. Wesley Snipes,
with the gun,
Judd
the
Nelson,
tear in his eye.
Ice-T with one of the greatest lines in movie history when he goes, "I want to shoot you so hard, my dick is getting hard."
Oh God, Cochino Mike is making it.
No, it's not a Cochino Mike. It's a funny scene in the movie. It's a stupid line. The whole thing about when the guy shoots a Nino at the end and he goes, "Your presence is requested in hell," and he shoots them and then he falls down the staircase. Good times, baby. Good times.
Did they have the drill sergeant getting mad at him too? He told him something like,
yeah,
when he was trying to climb up the wall. Remember?
Yeah.
He was getting a little vulgar. I'm not going to repeat it, but that shit was funny, dude.
I am my brother's keeper. So people are asking, what's wrong with my throat? I had a long weekend and a lot of bourbon this weekend.
Yeah.
And, usually when that happens, it lowers your immune system. I was out in the cold for a long time. Dude, yesterday, talk about experiences with my girlfriend, she never has, right?
Yeah.
She'd only been to Costco like once in her life and went to Costco yesterday. And she was like, this is great.
Did she look at the clothes?
Yes, she did. It reminded me of Cam and Mitch in season 1 of Modern Family when Mitch is like, where are we? This place is weird. They have a wine selection here. It was good times, man.
That's funny, right? When you're a certain age, then you stop by and you look at the clothes and you're like,
man,
hey,
not bad.
Not bad.
Not bad.
Like for walking around the house or doing something, it's like, going to do a Target run or HEB. It's not bad.
Dude, we did go do some thrifting over the weekend. Dude, she loves that, man. She just loves the hunt of thrifting.
You know what thrifting is?
What's that?
It's just a fancy name for antiquing.
It is.
That's all it is.
Dude, she found a pair of shoes that looked really cool. I mean, they look really nice. They were these Nike shoes with the bubble on the bottom.
Okay.
And she looks up the code. Looked at the price, $190. You got them for $15. They look like they may have been worn once.
Not bad.
I got $140.
Better than
I got $140 pair of sweats. $140.
Not Lululemons?
No, not Lulu, but they're expensive brand.
Yeah.
$140, right? 10.
I'm saying, is it better than Uptown Cheapskate?
No, man. Uptown Cheapskate for dudes is the place to be, man. But it's good, dude. It's good. But we have a lot of sports to get into. We're down to 9 teams in the NFL. The Chiefs are going to take on the Texans after the Texans beat the Chargers in the playoffs over the weekend. Texas lost to Ohio State. That was a brutal game, dude. And the way that you lose to like some 350-pound guy getting a fumble and taking it to the house 85 yards the other way, that was pretty epic. Spurs back in action. Again, they missed a game over the weekend. At least we didn't get to lose to the Lakers, right? We would have lost the Lakers. It's a bad matchup for our team.
Just postponing the inevitable.
The fires in Palisades and all over SoCal prevented that game from happening. The Clippers and Lakers are going to both be back in action this week.
Yeah, man. And can we say a prayer for all them people that have been displaced by these fires, dude? It's ridiculous.
Over 100,000 people evacuated.
How much damage is being done? And then you hear about how hard it is to insure these properties.
Right.
And these people, a lot of these people that have lost their homes, they lost everything, dude.
2 of my cousins,
Gone.
Andrew Ruiz, Lorenzo Ruiz, both have been firefighters, and they're high up in the fire departments that they're in, fighting those fires right now in the LA area. I saw this explainer the other day trying to explain what the hell happened and how the fires all came to be. And it was talking about how there's some parts of Los Angeles, because Los Angeles has grown to be so big. And it's so, if you drive to LA, San Antonio, you can go from one side of town to the other side of town in 35 minutes, right? LA, from what is considered the LA area, it's like 3 hours, right? You can go from one end to the other end, right? If you're going to go from Camarillo in the north all the way down to Long Beach on the south, there's a big, big difference between the two. But in some areas over there, there's actually forest.
Yeah.
Okay. These aren't like little trees. Okay. These aren't little pecan trees or oak trees that we have here in South Central Texas, right?
You got some big ass trees over there.
You've got forests over there. They have built the city inside of a forest in certain areas. So there's pockets.
So LA, people don't know. They look at the landscape. Basically, you're surrounded by mountains, and LA is just in that valley, in that area that's relatively flat.
Right.
Is where everything is at.
Now, JHNSP says Trump called these fires happening on the Joe Rogan podcast. Do they happen every year? Except this one's the one that got out of control. They happen every year. It's the topography of LA.
Yeah.
This is, and it has nothing to say with, this has nothing to do with politics. It has everything to do with the fact that that's the topography. That's like blaming Puerto Rico for hurricanes. That's like blaming California for earthquakes. That's like blaming Central Texas for fracking earthquakes.
Yeah, and
it is what it is.
Elias is bringing up a good point. I've seen video on social media of people actually setting fires to keep the fire going.
There was a man that got tackled and beaten up by residents because he had a flamethrower and he was trying to add to it. Okay, but a lot of this is basically the topography, how the land works over there. And they ask the question: do they run out of fire hydrants? Some of those areas over there have run out of water for periods of time as they're fighting these fires because it's pushed to the limit.
Yeah.
It's pushed to the limit. I mean, I don't know what else to say. It's kind of like the grid. When the grid went down here in Texas a few years ago, it was pushed to the limit. We didn't realize there was a limit and all hell broke loose, right? So it's kind of funny. You know, people want to put a political spin on it. Say, oh, well, then what happened to our grid? Who runs our grid?
Yeah. The thing is, you can't prepare for natural disasters such as a fire, you know, and it's spreading over such a vast amount of acreage out there in neighborhoods, you know. And the thing is that in California, you're going to have these neighborhoods situated on,
they build them on cliffs,
mountains, what have you. I mean, the whole area is just surrounded by forests, cliffs, mountains, what have you.
They want to have the whole point about living in California. Why, you know, people go like, oh, well, people are leaving California because it's so expensive. Do you know why it's so expensive to live there? Because people want to live there.
No,
you know, any neighborhood that goes up in value is because people want to live there. Yeah. Any neighborhood that goes down in value is because people don't want to. Why do people want to live there? Because it's always sunny. The weather's great. We'd have Spernandez, who's oftentimes on.
Man, yeah,
Dude, every time I see Spernandez in person, or when I've gone to California and I've got to meet up with him over there, he always talks about how beautiful it is weather-wise.
It's beautiful, dude.
It's 75 degrees. That's why people go. And it's also because it's beautiful over there with the Pacific Ocean. You've got Big Bear, Yosemite, Sequoia National Park. You've got all sorts of things in California that are just beautiful, and it's a premium to
Rocky
be there.
Mountains.
But they build it so high, and they build it so on cliffs and whatnot. It's not the smartest thing to do, but it just is what it is. You look at all the people who have lost homes over there. Okay, I believe there's been more than 20 people who've been killed by the fires, and dozens missing. I don't know what you do to fix it. It's just the topography of that, and the fact that you have 40, 50, 60 mile per hour winds. You can't stop that.
Yeah,
there's
Santa
no
Ana
administration.
winds,
there's no Biden. There's no Trump. There's no Kamala Harris. There's no Marco Rubio who's going to stop the fact that there's 60 mile per hour winds coming from the Santa Ana.
Yeah,
it's just not.
That's like Trump trying to say he wanted to nuke a hurricane. That ain't going to stop.
That ain't going to stop anything.
Yeah, man.
Ain't going to stop anything. But you look at the people who have lost homes, celebrities who have lost houses over there. We talked yet last week about Steve Gutenberg just coming out there, and who have come out there, and they're being interviewed by reporters, right? Here are the people who've lost homes, according to USA Today. Poor Eugene Levy, dude. Eugene Levy from Schitt's Creek. He lost his house in that fire. Paris Hilton lost her house in that fire. Mandy Moore, who, by the way, is facing backlash because Mandy Moore, who's a famous actress now, used to be a famous singer back in the day.
Pop star.
She tried to put up a GoFundMe for herself, and she's getting a fat backlash for that.
Come on, man.
So here are the people who've lost Miles Teller, the
famous actor.
Yeah.
Top Gun.
Mel Gibson. Jennifer Love Hewitt lost her house.
I was surprised you didn't say Mel Gibson and go, good.
Jennifer Love Hewitt. Somebody wants to take her in.
Oh, man.
Brad Paisley and his wife, Kimberly Williams Paisley, lost her house. Billy Crystal lost his house. Anna Faris, the comedian from House Bunny and all that stuff, she lost her house.
Scary Movie fame. Yeah, man.
The singer Diane Warren, who has written countless love songs over the years. Carrie Elwes lost his house. Carrie Elwes was the Princess Bride. He was the main character. Jeff Bridges, Ricky Lake, Julia Louis-Dreyfus, John C. Reilly. So John C. Reilly, we know him from Step Brothers. We know him from Boogie Nights. You know, are we now best friends? Yes. He lost his house. James Woods, John Goodman. Good. I can't stand John Goodman,
bro.
Colby Smulders from what's it called? How I Met Your Mother.
Yeah.
Anthony Hopkins from Silence of the Lambs fame. Interesting.
And somebody put in here, it says, what did they put? Interesting that all these people are all of a sudden experts on California geography. The only reason that I know about the California geography is that I used to frequent California a lot in my younger years. I was there every damn summer. Man.
Every summer I spent in California, in that area. But, you know, it's funny because, and Sam Selena says, and I will gladly take Jennifer Love Hewitt in.
Cochinos. The Necios are in the house.
All right, man. Let's talk about the football, man. Last night, we got narrowed down to 9 teams in the NFL playoffs. A lot of Cowboy fans pissed off right now, man, because 2 of the coaches that are still involved in the playoffs, Dan Quinn, Kellen Moore.
What did I tell you? Before the show started, you were telling me this. That's like an ex-girlfriend seeing her with some other dude, right?
And thriving
and you're jealous. You're over here jealous in the car, screaming and yelling, crying, getting mad.
So the weekend games, you have the Texans beat the Chargers 32-12. We'll get into that game a little bit. The Ravens literally ran up and down the Steelers 28-14. The Bills, they put the Broncos away early, 31-7, just annihilated them. And then you had the Eagles beat the Packers 22-10. Commanders, Baker Mayfield literally fumbled that game away in the fourth quarter, 23-20.
They had him on the ropes, bro. They had him on the ropes. How in the F do you fumble the ball?
Okay, so let's talk about that one in a second. Vikings, Rams tonight, 7 o'clock on ESPN. So let's go game by game on this one, right? Commanders go in there to Tampa. Commanders with a 12-5 record, better record than the Buccaneers. But the Buccaneers have experience in Baker Mayfield. You would never think about that, but Baker does have the experience there.
And they're 4-time division champs.
Yes,
right?
But they're also in a bad division that my Saints play in, right?
Yeah,
The NFC South sucks. So you go in there and you're taking on a rookie quarterback. And a rookie quarterback in the last 25 years, there's only been 4 that have won a playoff game with the rookie season.
True enough.
Names like what's his name? He played for the Falco. Joe Flacco. Joe Falco.
You're talking about the replacements, bro.
Joe Flacco being one. Mark Sanchez was a rookie who won a game. But now you add Jaden Daniels to the mix. Look at this for a rookie coming in from LSU. Jaden Daniels, number 2 overall pick in the draft, goes out there, 268 yards, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions, through 24 for 35. He also led Washington in rushing with 36 yards. Not a lot, but it got the job done. What happened down the stretch, you see Tampa with a late lead, about 10 minutes to go in the game. Baker Mayfield fumbles a ball on a fake handoff. It was one of those ones where you have the wide receiver coming by and they fake the wide receiver run. And I don't know if it clipped his body or what.
I think that actually was supposed to be he's supposed to hand him the ball, but he fumbled it. The timing was off. I think he was going to hand him the ball and he was going to run with it because they were going to do a little screen. And what happened with Baker, he was late with the timing. He missed his guy and he kind of glanced him on the hand instead of putting the ball in his hand, fumbled the ball, turned around, was looking for it. By the time he did that, it was too late.
Oh, it was late. The ball just died on the field.
Yeah.
It just died on the field. I've seen that play repeatedly. I think it was a fake. But I think he tried to sell it so hard that I think it grabbed the body and just got dislodged.
No, I don't know. I thought he was going to hand the ball off and he just was late with the timing.
And it would have been a good play if they did hand it off.
They had the screen and everything ready to go.
They had the sweep and everything when it comes to it all. Baker Mayfield also had 2 touchdowns yesterday, no interceptions. But again, the big turnover that you have there is that fumble.
And he knew he messed up. He knew that he left that door open for them and it was going to cost him the game.
Well, it was already in the red zone.
Yeah, he already knew it was a done deal. Like, he knew this one. He let it get away. You could tell even after the game, he was just there and he was just sulking, dude. Like, he was so upset with himself. And honestly, it comes down to plays like that, you know?
Right.
It is your fault.
Terry McLaurin got a 5-yard touchdown pass from Jaden Daniels to take the lead 20-17. Tampa goes back, ties the game, but with no time on the clock. The Commanders win with a 37-yard field goal from Zane Gonzalez. Here's the thing. You can tell a lot about a player, how they react to certain situations. When the Cowboys were losing and getting out of playoff contention, Micah Parsons lost his mind.
Yeah, he seemed like the only one that wanted to win.
But he also cried. He literally cried. And I thought that Micah Parsons gave a bad look to himself because it looked like he was telling his team that he was better than them and that we don't lose as a team. Like, you all lost. I was the winner here, right?
No, bro, you lose and win as a team.
You guys didn't bring it like I did. So Micah Parsons outright crying turned me off. Okay, I know he's one of the 5 best defensive players in the NFL. I get it. But it turned me off. Baker Mayfield yesterday, in talking to reporters, talked about how great everyone worked on that team, how wonderful everybody was for the season, how hard they worked, the amount of sacrifice they had, and all that stuff. And at the end of the day, he goes, "This loss is on me."
It is.
He could have fallen into we had chances early on in the game.
Yeah.
He could have fallen into all of that. We could have played a little bit better defense, could have done this, that, and the other, better running game, better play calling. No, he fell on the sword.
As he should have.
And he was like, he says, "I will give everybody grace. I will say everybody did what they should have done, but I cannot afford to give myself that leeway."
Yeah, he can't give himself a pass. He's the one that actually messed up the game. You're giving them the ball because you fumbled it in the red zone. What do you think's going to happen?
Yeah. I mean, and he had played a pretty good game. This was a struggle of a game, Joe, where there was not a lot of points being put on the board. It was 17-13 going into the fourth. Okay. It wasn't a low scoring game, but it wasn't a high scoring game. And what does it all come down to, Joe? Sometimes it comes down to just turnovers. Commanders had 0 turnovers. The Bucs had the 1. They had it in their own red zone. Commanders go on and advance. Now going to take on the Detroit Lions, who had a bye in this week. I like the NFL how they recalibrate the playoffs, right? They restack the order. Commanders going over there. I'm going to say this, Joe. If I was the Lions, I don't want to face this Commanders team. I don't know what's going to happen because Jaden Daniels, guess what? He's about the big lights. National championship, LSU. He's about the the big lights.
You mean he can win in big games? That's what quarterbacks do?
That's what quarterbacks not named Dak Prescott can do.
Hey, Dak Prescott, man, he's like a wax figure, dude. When the lights shine the brightest, he's just gonna fold and melt away.
Dak Prescott, who's been in the league for the better part of a decade, is 2-5 in the playoffs.
Can't do it, man.
Jaden Daniels. You look at Jaden Daniels and you know you got something. There's certain quarterbacks, Joe, where you can just look at your quarterback and go, I believe that we can win this game. So we go up and down the list of teams and quarterbacks out there. I think Joe Burrow is that guy for Cincinnati, even though they didn't make the playoffs. Josh Allen is that guy. You can look at Josh Allen and go, yeah, we have a chance, right?
Yeah.
You can look at Lamar Jackson. Obviously, Patrick Mahomes is the ultimate when it comes to that. So you got those 4 in the AFC. I don't think Justin Herbert's that guy yet. I don't think you look at Russell Wilson and think that. I don't even think you look at CJ Stroud and think that.
Nah, man, this Texans team, they're going to get rolled, dude.
But Mahomes, Allen, Jackson, you look at those guys, you go, we have a chance.
Yeah.
And then Burrow, who led the team to 9-8, won the last 5 games of the season, you can look at him and go, we have a chance with him. In the NFC, we now know Jaden Daniels is that guy. Jalen Hurts, I don't believe is that guy yet. Jalen Hurts, I don't know, man. Is it just me or is he just all right?
He's all right.
He's all right. I'm going to tell you who you look at on that side, and you might think to yourself, that just sounds weird. I think you look at Jared Goff and think, we got a chance.
Yeah.
Look at the quarterbacks on there. You're showing the divisional, right?
Mm-hmm.
If we just went by quarterbacks, look at the AFC. Patrick Mahomes, CJ Stroud, Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson.
CJ Stroud doesn't look that great, dude. Let's
Sophomore
be honest,
slump.
man.
Sophomore
Let's
slump.
be honest.
And by the way, I'm happy for Texans fans out there.
They're my Sancha team, man.
I'm happy for them. But that lucky bounce that they had in the second quarter when they couldn't get anything done against the Chargers, and you see a fumbled snap by CJ Stroud that goes backwards and literally comes back into his hands, busted play, rolls to the right, catches a receiver for a 35-yard gain, leads to a touchdown, Joe. Had he fumbled that ball and not recovered it, because that ball bounced literally back into his hands. Went waist high, right back into his hands. They lose that game. They lose that game. They lucked into that. But look at those quarterbacks right there, Joe.
Yeah.
Mahomes, future Hall of Famer, right? Lamar Jackson, multiple MVPs, future Hall of Famer. Josh Allen, future Hall of Famer. But in the NFC, Jared Goff. I like Jared Goff a lot. But is he in the caliber of Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, Patrick Mahomes? Jaden Daniels, I think, is going to be a really good quarterback for many, many years to come. Rookie. Sam Darnold. Jalen Hurts. An aging Matthew Stafford. Dude, the NFC doesn't have really good quarterbacks out there. So if you look at Jaden Daniels, you might look at Jaden Daniels and go, okay, the Commanders were a decent team.
Yeah.
Right? If you told me that Jaden Daniels was going to take this team into Detroit and beat them, I wouldn't be surprised. If you told me that he was going to go to Lincoln Financial Field and beat them, you know what? I wouldn't be surprised. You know why? Because the guy's big time. He's big league when it matters.
Yeah, you know what's going to happen here? The teams that have a really good defense are going to be able to move on. Even if, because let's say if they don't have the offenses and all that, they don't have to be, because the defense will do enough that if you can go ahead and get in the red zone, get scores either with the field goal or you're going to score with the touchdown, you're going to give your team a chance to win.
Right.
And the teams that I believe that have a really good defense right now that are in the playoffs, I believe that the Eagles have a really good defense.
The Chiefs are also top 5.
Chiefs have a good defense. Lions have a good defense when healthy. And also the Ravens have a good defense.
Well, according to Fox Sports, the best defenses in the league right now. Number 1's the Eagles.
Yeah.
Right. And when they say defense, it's the number of yards given up. I mean, there's other factors like points per game and whatnot. Passing defense, it's the Eagles and Commanders. Look at that, Joe. The 3rd best team in the NFL this year when it comes to passing defense is the Washington Commanders. They give up only 189 yards per game, Joe.
Yeah.
They hold Jared Goff down. I know they got Jahmyr Gibbs. You hold them down. That's interesting, though, Joe. Rush defense. The number 1 rush defense, Baltimore Ravens. Number 2, Minnesota Vikings.
But
number 5, the Lions. It's almost number 8, the Chiefs. It's almost as though, Joe, that you need to have a good defense to win the playoffs.
Who would have thought?
Good defense, competent quarterback, and a good running back. So let's go through that list of teams there, Joe. Good defense, Chiefs, yeah, top 5. Competent quarterback, yes.
Yes.
Good coaching, yes.
Texans.
No.
You don't believe in that quarterback?
No. Commanders, no, but I think it's interesting because I think Daniels has the it factor. And I think Dan Quinn, they're gonna run through a wall for that guy.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be an interesting game, but ultimately I think the Lions are gonna be the better team.
The problem with the Lions is one of their biggest strengths is their head coach, Dan Campbell. One of their biggest weaknesses is Dan Campbell.
Yeah.
See, Dan Campbell is one of those guys who has big balls, but his balls are also too big and they get in the way. Dan Campbell goes for on 4th down more than anybody.
Man.
Dan Campbell's like 4th and 3, F it, let's go for it, right? But he sucks with time management in a close game. And then he will go for it or do something risky when it's not needed down the stretch. He's going to be the downfall of that team. He's the reason why they're so good.
Yeah.
Also, they have a female owner who has done everything in the world to make them successful. She took over the team and she hired the coach. She hired the GMs. She hired the coordinators. She's going to go down as one of the best of the Lions win. But look at this, man. Okay, Drew Show coming in saying what? According to the AI, the number 1 defense left in the AFC is the Houston Texans. The Texans are not going to go anywhere, man. That offense is clunky, man. Just clunky offense. Joe, levels of disrespect. When you take a look at the second round of the playoffs in the NFL, levels of disrespect. Who should be favored in the game between Baltimore and the Bills? The Baltimore Ravens and the Buffalo Bills. Who should be favored? Because the game's going to be played in Buffalo. Now, for some context here, the Ravens beat the Steelers 28-14, and it was because they ran the ball up and down the field. Derrick Henry, 186 yards rushing, 2 touchdowns. Hey, didn't the Cowboys have a chance? Don't want to go there, right?
Yeah, they had.
Lamar Jackson, 81 yards rushing.
They couldn't stop him, dude.
He also threw for 175 and 2 touchdowns. They couldn't stop him. Even though the Steelers had Baltimore's number for like the last 5 or 6 years, Ravens were prepared for that game, won that game going away. They're up 21-0 at halftime. Steelers, 18 years in a row of a winning record, but also they haven't won a game in the playoffs since like 2016.
Yeah.
It's like 8 one-and-dones for them. It's crazy. Baltimore is going into Buffalo over the weekend, right? And I was interested to see what the spread was going to be. This is the late game on Sunday. 22 degrees predicted. Did you know Baltimore's favored to win this game on the road against Josh Allen, the freaking crazy Bills Mafia out there, and the Ravens are favored to win. Dude, this is bulletin board material, if anything, for the Buffalo Bills. The Buffalo Bills with a better record at 13-4. Undefeated at home this year, 8-0. And they're underdogs in a playoff game that's going to be sold out in 22-degree snow. Joe, levels of disrespect, scale of 1 through 10. How bad is Buffalo being disrespected with this?
No, it's level 10 disrespect, dude. But you know what? When you factor in playing outdoor in the elements with the snow, and if the field is just littered with snow and it becomes slippery, hard to catch the ball, you got to give the edge to Buffalo, dude. They're built for this, man.
They are built for this. And to some extent, Baltimore is as well.
Yeah.
But the fact of the matter is that you're talking about a Sunday game where the low's 11 and the high is 23. Might not, it's going to be some flurries, but it's at the very least, it's going to be bitter cold.
Yeah.
Dude, I don't see how a team that's undefeated at home is the underdog in the game. I don't care if it's just 1 point. That's disrespectful.
I'm going with the Bills in this one. The Lions, I'm going to go with them beating the Commanders. Kansas City, I'm going to go with them beating the Texans. Now, here's the thing. We have games coming up tonight, right? 2 games happening.
Well, just one.
Or just one. It's, what do you call it? The Rams and the Vikings. And I was with Brandon Big Papi Medina, which is our biggest Vikings fan, on Saturday. We went and had a brunch over here at the Las Palapas around the corner.
Nice.
And who drinks fish bowls at 11:30 a.m.?
You do.
We do. So we're talking, right? And I was telling them, man, these are my picks for Wild Card Weekend. You're crazy, Joe. I said, man, but if they hit, can you imagine the money that you'd be making? Of course, my picks didn't pan out. But I told him, I do pick the Rams to upset the Vikings. He goes, nah, bro, that's not going to happen. I said, I'm just telling you, man.
Vikings there by just 2.5 points. At the end of the day, people have been saying on the stream, I think it was Mario earlier saying, Sam Darnold's going to come down to earth. At the end of the day, that is Sam Darnold. And what a weird and wacky season that they've had. Sam Darnold, who was a complete bust with the Jets, who went over to San Francisco, held the clipboard for Brock Purdy, goes to another team, holds a clipboard, goes to Minnesota to be the backup quarterback, and leads the Vikings to a 14-3 record. I wish we had Brandon on the show right now to ask him the question. They make a playoff run. They beat the Rams. They go to the second round of the playoffs. What next? What next? Do you go with J.J. McCarthy, who you drafted number 10 overall in the draft? Or do you roll the dice on Sam Darnold? Sam Darnold, Joe, has an opportunity to become a free agent this year. How much money is on the line if Sam Darnold goes in there to SoFi tonight? Actually, not going to be in SoFi. The game got moved to Arizona because of the wildfires.
Yes, it did.
If he goes into that stadium, Joe, beats the Rams, advances to the playoffs, and he's a free agent, Joe. You have to give up any draft capital to get a Sam Darnold who led a team to 14. I know he had Justin Jefferson, and I know that he has a lot of weapons out there, but still, how many quarterbacks go onto the open market and go, yeah, we're 14-3, 15-3 after we won the playoff game?
Yeah.
How much money's on the line? What team would go get him?
Somebody would get a team. You know who might be desperate enough to get a quarterback of that caliber?
Who's that?
Saints.
Got only one more year left on Derek Carr's contract.
Yeah. Do you think Darnold is an upgrade over Carr?
Yes.
Would he fit with the Saints?
It's weird because the chess pieces that are being moved in New Orleans signals the fact that they're going to go towards a Derek Carr-led offense. Like they're going to try to give him a chance, like give him players that he knows and he recognizes. But they don't have the head coach yet. So it's like, where do you go? Rumor has it that Mike McCarthy could be that guy over there.
Would you all welcome McCarthy with open arms?
I would. He's a good coach. He's not a great coach. He's a good coach.
He's a product of the tools he has to work with and about the payaso, the clown that is Jerry Jones.
Right.
As your owner and the GM that you have to contend with.
I tell you what, though, Minnesota wins this game tonight, takes on the Eagles Sunday afternoon. I'll take the Vikings.
Oh, man. No, dude. I'm taking the Rams, dude.
No, well, I'm just saying. Let's say if they do advance, the Eagles are 14-3. They're just that team. Just I don't know, man. What are the Eagles? How are they 14-3? I mean, I know they've got
ways to win.
I know they've got Saquon, all that stuff, but the Achilles heel is Jalen Hurts, 13 for 21, 131 yards.
Brother's hurt too.
He is hurt. Saquon Barkley rushed for 119. By the way, did you see that whole thing about Saquon Barkley and the biggest prop bet taken in Vegas this week was Saquon Barkley scoring a touchdown?
He slid.
He slid.
He said, F that. He had a chance, dude. There was nobody going to touch him, right? He was gone, but he did the classy thing. He's like, you know what? We're already up. This game's over. Just going to slide.
On our YouTube chat, Sam Salinas is smoking the good herb right now. Says he smells an upset happening. Texans over Chiefs.
No, bro.
Tell you what, man, I would love to see it because I have Chiefs fatigue. But there ain't no way the Chiefs are losing that game unless Mahomes gets hurt.
You know what Brandon Big Papi Medina was telling me? He's like, bro, if the Vikings go on, he's already told the wife, what's the budget for the budget for the Super Bowl, man? I'm like, bro, stop it. I told him, stop it, dude. He's like, what? It was good catching up with Brandon, dude. I hadn't seen him for a little bit. You know, we've both been busy, so we got together and caught up and talked a little business, but it was fun.
He's a good man. By the way, if you look at the Buffalo Bills, Josh Allen, 20 for 26, 272 yards, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. James Cook rushed for 120 yards and a touchdown. Curtis Samuel, man, it's funny when you put a decent player on a good team. 68 yards and a touchdown, right? No turnovers. They're now 9-0 if you count them at home this year, right? 8-0 during the regular season.
Yeah.
At a playoff win. They easily took care of Denver in a playoff game, 31-7. Underdog at home next week. Disrespectful, Joe.
Hey, man, that just gives you more fuel for the fire, dude.
That's the problem with the Ravens, man. The Ravens are that one team you don't want to play because when they're firing all cylinders and Lamar Jackson is being a wizard out there and connecting with his passes and running, when Derrick Henry, full head of steam, is going for 150, 180, they might be unstoppable, Joe. The problem is that every once in a while you see them just lay an egg.
You know what's going to happen with the should I say the Ravens? They've shown that they can win, right? You get them in the first round of playoffs.
They have 5 losses for a reason.
But I'm saying once you get into that second round, they're going to fold, dude. What does the record tell you?
Who have the Ravens lost to this year? They lost to Kansas City. Fine.
Yeah. It
was a good game. They should have won that game. They got that. The refs stole that game from them. They lost to the Las Vegas Raiders at home. The Raiders. They lost to the Cleveland Browns on the road. They lost to Pittsburgh. They only scored 16 points against Pittsburgh. And they lost to Philadelphia in an intrastate game.
Yeah.
I don't think that the Ravens are the team that have it within them to get 4 games in a row.
Yeah.
In the playoffs. No. That's the thing. Lamar Jackson can win MVP after MVP. And to for some respect, in some respect, I'm cheering for them in a way. Because Lamar Jackson winning all these MVPs and not winning any championships kind of sucks.
Yeah.
Then you look at Bills Mafia. The Bills, who back in the 80s and 90s had 4 straight appearances in the Super Bowl and lost all 4.
Yep.
Should have won 1.
And they faced
Scott
the Cowboys.
Norwood missed that kick. Cowboys beat the shit out of them twice, right?
Yep.
That fan base needs a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Like this is kind of like when the Cubs hadn't won it in like 100 years or 86 years. 86 years for the Red Sox, you know, the curse of the Bambino.
Man, yeah.
It's going to be something like that whenever you see the Buffalo Bills win it all.
Yeah, that's why the Cubs should have let that brother in with the GOAT.
And you know what? When the Ravens lose, I think about how the Modell family, I think that was the family, moved them from Cleveland to Baltimore in the middle of the night with the Mayflower moving trucks in the middle of the night. Makes me think, good. It also makes me think that Henry Cisneros and company should have done that for the Saints back in the day, Howard Peak and whoever the mayor was, Ed Garza, back in the day, bring the Saints over. They should have done it in the middle of the night. Oh my God, Mario Cavazos saying with the number 9 pick in the NFL draft, Shedeur Sanders.
Hey. Would you be mad at that, Mike? Come on.
I would not. By the way, let's talk about the mock draft, because whenever the games are over, the order changes, right? CBS Sports today released a mock draft. They have UIW's Cam Ward going number 1 overall.
Okay.
Can you imagine that? Can you imagine that in a city that has UTSA football, where we pack 15 to 25 to 30,000 in the Alamo Dome, that at UIW, playing in front of 400 people, was the future number 1 overall pick in the NFL draft, Cam Ward, who then went to Miami and was a star at Miami.
Yeah.
CBS Sports says Cam Ward has, quote, high-end tools mixed with continued improvement, makes him an intriguing quarterback prospect for the class, says that the Tennessee Titans would be stupid if they didn't go after him. By the way, who was his head coach at UIW? G.J. Kinney, who led the Texas State Bobcats to a bowl game for the first time in many years. Number 2 overall, they believe the Browns will go after Abdul Carter from Penn State, edge player. Number 3, Giants going after Travis Hunter, stud, Heisman winner, cornerback, wide receiver. Number 4, they believe that the Patriots, who, by the way, would go after an offensive tackle. Number 5, they believe Mason Graham, defensive lineman, would go to the Jaguars. And they believe that Shedeur Sanders of Colorado, primetime son, would drop all the way to number 6 to the Las Vegas Raiders.
Ugh.
They have my Saints at number 9, drafted Michael Williams, the edge from Georgia. Hey, from Georgia, I'm taking him. They have Ashton Genty, the running back from Boise State, going 10 to Chicago.
Ewers? Where does he drop that?
Oh, dude, Ewers is probably a second or third rounder. A third rounder, probably.
Think so?
They have the Cowboys taking Josh Connerly out of Oregon, an offensive tackle. Would you be excited about an offensive tackle, Joe?
No.
As far as the Houston Texans, they believe the Texans will draft number 25. Oh, yeah, Walter Nolan, defensive lineman out of Ole Miss. He's really good.
The Cowboys could go ahead and move up in the draft if they really wanted to, but Jerry's going to be like, nah.
No, they like to go backwards and pick up extra 4th rounders that never pan out.
Yeah, stupid, dude.
That's
kind of like the Spurs hanging on to picks that don't pan out, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh, speaking of which, we're going to talk about them, and I got the latest NBA standings to talk about.
Let's talk about it, man. Oh, well, before we do that, let's get some love to MCS. They're the ones who power our stream, our chat line over here.
Yeah.
Thank you to Chris Leha and the fellas.
MCS General Contracting, more than 30 years of combined experience in concrete placement. They are the best in the business, honest pricing, high quality work. They get going on house foundations, driveways, concrete patio decks. If you want to extend the deck, extend the driveway. If you're a business and you need to put together a slab, a parking lot, or other concrete placement services or sidewalks, reach out to MCS General Contracting at 210-774-9155. They're confident in their skills, so give Chris Leha over at MCS General Contracting a call at 210-774-9155. And thank you for being a sponsor of this show.
That Diamond Hard Concrete, they did some work at my house last year. It's been really cold. Went back outside to look at it.
MCS General Contracting.
Went outside to look at it. No cracks. It still looks good.
Cracks.
It looks good, baby. It looks good. ESPN's reporting that Mike McCarthy, head coach of the Dallas Cowboys, his contract runs out on Friday, right?
Yeah.
But I did not realize this. He becomes a free agent Wednesday morning at midnight, 12:01 a.m. He becomes a free agent. He can still negotiate.
You think talks have stalled with Jerry on purpose?
Well, I mean,
wouldn't it be in the interest of Mike McCarthy to kind of stall on the talk front?
Okay, you said that to me on the when I was driving over here. We were talking about sports. Yeah. You were saying that you think that Mike McCarthy is kind of playing possum right now.
I think he is, dude. I think he wants to stall with the Cowboys talk with Jerry. And it would be in his best interest, right, to see and meet with the other interested parties.
Okay, well, let me ask you about that. What if he wants to go back to Dallas, but playing footsie with the other teams makes it so that it pisses Jerry off and Jerry goes in a different direction. Jerry says, well, screw you. And then now Mike McCarthy is struggling to get a job.
No, I think Mike McCarthy will get picked up. I think it's going to be conducive to him to go ahead and go and see the interest of the other teams and see how the organizations are run, right? He's seen the way that the Cowboys are run. It's probably a clown show, a circus in the back. But if he goes somewhere else, I mean, he could actually maybe make some noise there with the pieces that they have around him and the way the organizations run and say, hey, you know what? When you come over here, you actually get to do something. You get to be a coach.
You get to be a coach.
Yeah.
And we saw that with these former Cowboy players who went off to other teams who got, well, yeah. I mean, they say, hey, look, it's we're not in a fishbowl. We actually get to study and talk football.
Who was a better coach you think would have been for this team? Would it have been Quinn, right? Dan Quinn or Mike McCarthy?
It's kind of difficult, man. When you're under the thumb of the Joneses, it's kind of difficult for you to do anything.
They don't let you meet your full potential.
It's like a singer that's being told to sing only one genre of music. You never know what they're capable of. If you turn my chat on real fast.
Yeah.
ESPN's Todd Archer is reporting that Mike McCarthy, when he becomes a free agent on Wednesday morning, is expected to have the Saints and Bears reach out to him for their head coaching vacancies.
Look at that. Tim Gonzalez.
His name is gone.
Oh, I love it when the viewers pick up our bad habits.
Yeah.
What is it? I hear the hanging is McCarthy wants 5 years and Jerry wants a 3-year deal. Well, his name might be gone.
Isn't that the whole thing that you heard about Dak Prescott over the years? It was the number of years that he wanted in a deal.
Yeah.
I look at it this way. Mike McCarthy, you know how we were talking about how we see Dan Quinn and Kellen Moore as the girlfriend, the ex who's flourishing with somebody else. Mike McCarthy is the 7.
Yeah. What if he went to the let's say the Bears, right?
Yeah.
And they see him take that team deep into the playoffs, almost make the Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
What would Cowboy fans say? Was the problem him as the coach?
No, they'll never blame. They'll always blame Jerry. Cowboy fans have reached the point right now where they realize that Jerry Jones is the problem. He is the problem. But Mike McCarthy is kind of like the pretty girl who she ain't hot. But if you think that you're going to leave your girl because there's somebody hotter out there, might not happen because you might have been with a pretty one already. And that's what he is.
Yeah.
Because you know what? You throw him back into the singles, you throw Mike McCarthy back into the singles market. Like I saw this in this Instagram reel the other day, where it was this one guy with a pretty hot girlfriend, and they get into a fight, and he goes, "Get out of the car, you walk home." She gets out of the car to walk home, and another car just pulls up and goes, "Hey, baby, you need a ride?" And he's like, "Get back in the car, get back in the car," because you know what? She's still attractive.
Yeah,
someone's gonna want her right away, and that's what Mike McCarthy is. Mike McCarthy is still attractive as a head coach in the NFL. That the second the Cowboys piss him away and go, "Hey, you know what? We don't need your services anymore."
Yeah,
the Saints are going to come in and go, "Dude, come with us. Get in the car."
You know,
the Bears are going to be like, "Get in the car."
It's funny that you're talking about that because I'm going to share something personal, right? We don't really share a lot of our personal lives, right?
Yeah.
So what's happening with me from a personal standpoint, and I'm going to share it with the viewers to let them know. After many, many years, me and my wife are actually going to be separating. So I'm going to be back on the singles market now.
Mm-hmm.
Dating again, maybe. You know, seeing if I still got it. You know, it's like, what do you do at this point? You know, after you've been with somebody for that long, do you just kind of stay low, you know, and just keep doing what you're doing, focus on work, you know, and things like that, or do you get back into it? You know,
I'm an expert of this.
I mean, yeah. What do you do, Mike?
Okay, so the first 3 months or so, work on yourself.
Okay,
work on yourself. Work on your health, better habits. Get good at work, all that stuff. Basically, ask yourself the question: what do you bring to the table?
Okay,
and how can you improve what you bring to the table?
Gotcha.
And you know, I went through a very painful separation, divorce.
Yeah.
Right. I went through a very painful separation and divorce, and you never want to go through all that. But the fact of the matter is that sometimes it gets forced upon you.
Yeah, sometimes it does.
And what ended up happening with me was I struggled for a while, dude.
Yeah,
I struggled for a long while, man. I was depressed. I stopped doing this podcast.
it's true, man.
I was just a shell of myself for so long. For like 3 or 4 or 5 months, I was in a daze.
Yeah,
I started talking to some of my old friends from back in the day. Some of them on our stream, Alex Noriega,
yeah.
Sean Quintero, kind of reconnected with some people from high school, reconnected with some family members, started losing weight. And
see, that's my new shtick. I'm going to start losing weight.
Focused on work and all that stuff. And then what ended up happening was I got back on the dating scene.
Yeah.
And it was awful.
Was it that bad?
It was terrible, dude. These girls are single for a reason.
God.
And it was bad date after bad date after bad date.
Like, what made the date bad? Was it just them in general, or like the conversations were going nowhere?
Some of it was narcissistic on their part. Some of it was narcissistic on my part.
You showed them the W-2s, the 1099s?
No. Some of these girls are just like, they don't want to be a couple. They want to like boss you around.
Yeah.
And they outright say that. You know, they use the phrase, "Well, I'm a boss bitch." And I'm like, who the hell uses that? Right?
What the hell?
And then
Who says that?
And then you've got some who are like, "Hey, I've never had kids before. I want to have kids." And it's like, okay, I'm 47 years old. I don't think I want to go and do that anymore, you know?
This is Mike was dating girls from Marbach.
Felt like it. Southside.
Oh.
And then there's other things, Joe. They started dating, went out with a girl a few times that she had kids at home.
Yeah.
And it was like, hey, you want to hang out? No, I can't. I got the kids. Want to hang out? No, I got the kids. Want to hang out? No, I got the kids. And it's just like, okay, well then you can't have a full-on relationship when it's like I can see you once every 3 weeks, right? So I did a lot of bad dating for a while. Was on the apps, man. I did Match, I did Bumble, I did Tinder.
Jeez, I don't know if I want to do online dating, dude.
That's the only place, dude. Right now, I saw an article on CNBC. 64% of all relationships started in 2024, romantic relationships, were started online.
Nah, dude.
If you say that you're not going to do anything online, you're saying no to 2/3 of all the relationships that are out there.
Jeez.
No one meets organically anymore.
Why not?
Because no one hangs out anymore.
They don't got no game, bro. You can just go to a bar or something. You see somebody.
Girls don't want that anymore, dude.
Come on,
girls,
bro.
Dude, they think it's creepy. Going up to a girl at a gym, they think it's creepy. Going up to a girl at a bar, they think it's creepy. The new rules of engagement are online. Weird, it's online. I met my girlfriend. Here's Chica.
Yeah.
I met my girlfriend online. I'm gonna tell you what site I met her on. Met her on Facebook dating.
How about that?
I met her on Facebook dating. Oh, how you go?
Hey. Mike, what are you doing?
I met her on Facebook dating. She was just, hey, man, I posted that a month ago. If you hadn't seen it before, it is what it is.
She's gonna be like, "Why do you have to use that picture, Mike?"
But I got myself a good one, dude. I got myself a good one. I know what I got.
Oh God, did you try Grindr? Twitter is the best dating app. Oh hell no.
Okay, you know why Facebook dating is a good dating app? By the way, there is a dating app on Facebook. I don't know if you know that.
Yeah.
You click on it. There's an area that says dating, right?
Yeah.
Why it's good is because you get to know whether or not you have any mutual friends. So if you see somebody, you connect with them. A, it's free. B, you get to see if you have mutual friends. You know, it is what it is.
It says Mike McCarthy is out, fellas.
Chica.
I don't know what I'm going to wind up doing here. I probably just, like you said, just maybe focus on myself for a bit and just, see what happens afterwards, see what I feel like doing, But if you do see me, take somebody out, to when we're having our karaoke party, mind your business.
Tony Ronaldo saying Facebook market dating, buy a couch, go on a date.
God, Facebook market dating.
Sith saying he met his girl at work, and that's true, man. That's actual and factual. That's the second place. Let me look it up. Where people meet their partners graph.
I remember every other girl I had met on Facebook. You know what the weird thing is though with me? Like I'll go out with my friends, right? And I'm just minding my business, right? We'll be at the bar or something, right? Wherever we're at. We could be at Twin Peaks, we could be at another bar, whatever we're doing. And I just seem to make friends with people, right? And like I'll talk with whoever's next to me, whether it be a female, male, it doesn't matter. You know, we're just striking up conversations. But then other ladies at the bar will buy me a drink, right? And, oh, the bartender will come over. Hey, that lady over there got you a drink or whatever. And I'll go and say hi, return the favor and whatnot. But usually that's the kind of stuff that happens. So I don't know. I think if I meet somebody or I'm going to go on my next date, it might happen just that way. Just me hanging out with my boys, you know, just hanging out with the friends.
How long have you been with your wife?
20 something years. I'm loyal, bro.
What year was it?
98.
98. Okay.
97? No, 97.
So look at my screen here. This is what I was talking about here. It's a research from it's called Data is Beautiful, How Couples Meet and Stay Together.
Yeah.
Back in 1930, almost a fourth of it came from family, a fourth of it came from school.
Okay.
And then about 20% came from friends, right? Look what happens over the years. 0% online because online didn't exist. And as time went on, you know, you went from the Great Depression to, okay, now we're in the World War II area, right? It's all about friends, right? Friends are how you get hooked up, right?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm going to introduce you to a friend of mine. I met them at school. I met them whatever. And look what happens. The percentage of people who met at church keeps going down. The people who meet through friends keeps going higher and higher and higher and higher and higher. So think about when we get to our age. Now it's coworkers.
Yeah.
Okay. We met because we met at work. Now, when I graduated high school in 95. I'm in college in 96. 27% came from friends, right? But look what happened there. You had 2% from online. That's AOL. That's Net Zero and all that stuff, right?
Yeah, back in the day.
And GeoCities and all that stuff. And look what ended up happening. 2008, 2009, online. 2012
Damn.
is when it flipped over, Joe. Is when it flipped over. And now where do people meet their friends according to surveys and studies?
Yeah.
Look at that, Joe. I'll pause right there. 61% of all relationships, 3 out of 5, because they met online.
Yeah.
Tinder, Bumble, Farmers Only.
Bumble.
13% come from friends. 8% come from coworkers. Only 4.91%, Joe, are rolling up to somebody at a bar. Damn. You're 15 times more likely to meet a girl online than you are to meet them at the hangar over here or a stout house.
That's how I meet people, though, dude. Just by hanging out.
Yeah, that's funny. 4.5% family. The rest, just 2% from church.
Damn.
1 out of 50 couples met at church.
I don't know if I want to meet anybody at a church, though, bro. You know, that's usually like where they say the crazy people at.
Depends on the church.
Hey.
Spernandez saying, let them come to you, Joe. So hey. I picture Spernandez.
Hey.
Okay, I know he's with Steph, right? But I picture him as Ace Ventura. Is it Ace Ventura? What's it called? When the birds come? I picture Spernandez being this when he's single. He just sits there like this, and the birds just flock to him.
Yeah. You know what? This is funny though. One time, what's her name? Steph was saying she'd be our wingman. You know, so I'm gonna be like, Steph, you're my wingman. So we're hanging out somewhere, me and Fernandez and Steph. I'm gonna be like, hey, Steph, what do you think about this one girl over there? She'll give me her honest opinion. You know?
so here's the thing about it though, man. I'll give you some understanding. I liked Facebook dating because you get to see if they have similar friends, and it links you to their Instagram, and you know they're real people.
Yeah,
because some of these places are bots, right?
True enough, man.
The worst one was eHarmony because they make you answer a questionnaire that takes about 9 million years to fill out. That one sucks. Bumble is one where it's like, well, the girl initiates the move and all that stuff, but whenever you have that scenario,
yeah,
only 20% of guys are getting the clicks, right? It just is what it is. Man. And then you have all these other ones, Plenty of Fish, which is free, but that's kind of like, nah.
My friends have done the online dating thing, you know, was it the thing that you swipe right or
that's Tinder?
Tinder, right?
Tinder's the one where they want to roll.
Yeah, they want to roll. Anyway, my friends have done all that. One of my good friends, I'm not going to name his name, but he knows who he is. He did that, right, when he got a divorce and all that. And I would go with him to bars and, you know, whatnot, public places with him, you know, because he's like, hey, man, I'm supposed to meet this lady here, this and that. The lady would show up, look like things were going good. And then he'd be like coming back and be like, give me the abort sign. And I'll be like, all right, we're going to bounce, you know, pay the bill, say I'm out, you know?
Yeah.
And he did that a couple of times. And he's like, bro, this ain't it. This ain't it. This ain't it. And he just met somebody through a friend of a friend. But now he's single again. But when he was trying to get back on the dating scene, it was a nightmare, man, meeting these people online, like in person and stuff. I don't know, dude.
You have all walks of life in there, dude. And, you know, I've equated it to like buying a car online. You know, you say what age, you say what body style, you say whatever. I will say this, and I've said this to my girlfriend Francesca a lot. Remember the movie Weird Science?
Yeah, I remember that.
Okay, where you had those two guys, Anthony Michael Hall and that other dude, you know, put into an algorithm onto the computer of what their dream girl was. I would go off and say that Francesca would have been my dream girl. Like, it just calculated it. She's got the look that I like. Got the personality that I like. She's got the education that I like. She's got the finances that I like. She doesn't have any kids at home. You know,
I don't even care about all that. To me, it's just,
you met her.
Yeah, I met her, but it's like, to me, it doesn't matter like how much you make or.
Well, it's not so much how much you make.
It's like more the connection. Do you have things in common? Do you have a good time? You know, together, that kind of stuff.
Well, I mean, I'm doing fine on my own. I don't need.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, like,
but it is fascinating that you have somebody who actually does well for themselves.
Yeah.
To me, it just shows success.
Yeah, it's a plus.
I know what I got, dude. I know what I got. It is what it is. I know what I got. She's a good girl. She's a good girl.
Mike says he likes Facebook dating. That way he could see if they actually have teeth.
And what does my girlfriend do? She's look at her teeth. Look at her teeth. Look at homegirl's teeth. She's a dental hygienist. She's got the perfect teeth. Cut them all. She's got them all. But good luck in the dating world, dude, if that's the direction you're going in.
Who knows, dude? Hey, look at chubby people dating. Change your location to the RGV. Oh, God, man.
So Savannah says he has an idea a few years ago of a Spurs dating app called Spur of the Moment.
Hey,
I like it.
I like where you're going with that.
I'm not saying that's $1 million idea, Fernandez. I'm saying that's $1,000 idea. That's 1,000 more than we had, right? Notice I said we because I want in on this. The problem is it's going to be like 20 dudes for every one girl on there.
Yeah. That's crazy, dude. If it did, that's a good name for a dating site, right? Spur of the Moment. For Spurs fans connecting other Spurs fans.
The one you don't want is Cowboy of the Moment because you're gonna have a bunch of bitter middle-aged men talking about the past like they're Al Bundy. Back in the 90s, dude, Spurs fans are turning into that, man.
This is funny, dude.
Drew Show says, without any working, I'm pretty sure that the breakup rate of people meeting Alliance got to be way effing high. It's the new meat market. The thing about it is this, and I have a conversation with my girlfriend about this. And I don't know if I want to get into it because, you know, it's our personal life, right?
Yeah.
But like, I think the problem with dating these days is that people think the grass is greener on the other side. And I think that people don't realize that it actually takes work to make a relationship function.
Yeah.
And I don't think people want to put in the work. That's just it.
That's true, man. I don't know, man. We'll see what happens at this stage of the game. You know, I'm already getting up there in age. You know, I'm like, I got a good job. I got my own car and everything. I'm probably gonna wind up getting my own place here soon. You know, I don't know. It's like, do I just go and get an apartment? Do I just go and get me another house?
Yeah.
You know, that's the conundrum, the things I got to think about, you know, and I've been looking at homes for a while already too, you know, so
Breaking news. Thank you to Tony Gonzalez and all those people, Matt Gomez, rather. Mike McCarthy's out as head coach of the Cowboys. According to Todd Archer, who just updated his article from early this morning, says, quote, Mike McCarthy is not expected to return as the Dallas Cowboys head coach and is now set to become a free agent. A source told Adam Schefter on Monday. McCarthy's contract with the Cowboys expired last Wednesday, but the team held an exclusive negotiating window with him through Tuesday at midnight. The Chicago Bears, the New Orleans Saints are expected to be the ones first in line to meet with him. Of the two, Joe, to be honest, the Bears are a better situation.
I think so.
They got Caleb Williams, number 1 overall pick.
Yeah.
They've got a running game. They've got some stars at wideout. I think he could take that team into a better direction. The problem with the Saints, they have no direction right now because we're still stuck to Derek Carr. Unless the Saints are going to be making some moves. Saints right now have the number 9 pick in the draft. If the Saints are going to move up to get Shadur Sanders, move up to get Cam Ward, which I'd be excited for if they did, why would a head coach of Mike McCarthy's caliber go, you know what I'm going to do? I don't want to go to the Bears who have all this firepower and a young quarterback. I want to go to this Derek Carr-led team who only has one year left in him, unless he doesn't believe in Caleb Williams. It's the better hire.
Yeah, we're going to see what he decides to do. But, I mean, at the end of the day, if he decides to move on, Mike McCarthy decides to move on, it wasn't because maybe he didn't want to be here as a head coach of the Cowboys. Maybe it's just the two sides couldn't come to terms as far as the number of years that he wanted to stay.
Well, here's the thing. The Cowboys did him no favors. In fact, I would say the 7-10 season is a testament to how good of a head coach Mike McCarthy is.
He was still able to get something out of this bunch.
Out of Cooper Rush. They didn't give up on him. Anything like that.
I mean, come on, bro. What you going to get out of Zeke at
Before this 7-10 season, back-to-back 12-5 years. Overall, 49-35.
Yeah.
1-3 in the playoffs. True. But 7-10, despite the fact that he had injuries to Dak, Zach Martin, Trevor Lawrence, CeeDee Lamb missed some games, Trayvon Diggs, Micah Parsons missed a big chunk of the season.
They had no run game to speak of.
Jerron Bland, they had no running game. They lost studs in the offensive line. They had no defensive line.
Nothing.
And he led them to 7 wins. He's a good coach, dude.
They could have had maybe a handful of more, maybe 2-3 more wins there if the Cowboys hadn't shit the bed and actually been able to win these close games.
It's a good coach who was in a bad situation. I will never say that McCarthy is a great coach.
Yeah.
But he's a very good coach. And look at all the quarterbacks he's led. I mean, Aaron Rodgers, he worked with Brett Favre for a little while there. He gets the best out of quarterbacks. He had Dak Prescott as an MVP candidate, for crying out loud.
Yeah.
So who do the Cowboys go after now?
Interesting, dude. Who do they go after? Bill Belichick is not available.
Yeah, Belichick's now with the University of North Carolina.
Jerry wants someone he can control. So to me, the likely candidates would be a team who's maybe going to lose an offensive coordinator, something of that nature. Maybe Jerry will entertain that, unless he wants to look at a coach who's coaching right now for a college team. But I doubt that would happen. You're going to want somebody who has some type of NFL experience, and you're not going to go after no Rex Ryan or anybody like that. That guy's an idiot.
That's true. He is a bit of an idiot. New Orleans football beat reporters are coming out saying that the Saints are going to go guns a-blazing going after Mike McCarthy.
I wouldn't be mad.
So the Cowboys' odds of next coach, they usually have those. Here we go. According to bookies.com, let's see when this is dated. This is dated as of this week. The odds-on favorite was Mike McCarthy staying. So now that he's gone, Mike Vrabel, former Patriot, Super Bowl winner, has the best odds. Former Texans head coach, right? Joe Brady, Bills offensive coordinator, the second best odds, followed by Deion Sanders, Colorado head coach. Ben Johnson, the Lions offensive coordinator, and Bobby Slowick, the Eagles offensive coordinator, are the 5 biggest odds.
Yeah.
And number 7, they got Tony Romo.
Tony Romo. Come on, dude. Tony Romo is one of these colorful analysts, right?
Yeah.
Comes out, knows the game, talks a good game. It'd be like JJ Redick, right?
Yeah.
He was a color commentator, right?
Yeah.
Does that necessarily make you a good coach? What are the accolades that Tony Romo has to become a head coach?
You know what? I will say this, though. I think Tony Romo is a smarter offensive mind than people give him credit for.
No doubt.
And he's showing that as an analyst.
Yeah, but would it translate to the coaching level?
There's a difference between identifying something and strategizing for something. He can identify. He can see something on the screen.
Yeah.
He can see something on the field and go, I know what's happening. That's part of being good. But you need to strategize as to like think 2 or 3 steps ahead when it comes to it. Drew Show says Jason Garrett had a better record than Mike McCarthy with Dak Prescott as quarterback. Both had 4 years of Jason was 40-24-2 and 2 playoff wins. They're just an alright team. We saw Fernandez come out and say, give him Ben Johnson. Question for you, Fernandez. Question for Cowboy fans out there. Why would Ben Johnson go to Dallas?
He's not going to be able to be a coach per se. He's going to have
Jerry Jones's thumb all over you, right? They don't go after free agents.
Yeah.
They don't go after any free agents. They don't spend money. They don't take care of their players. It's a circus atmosphere. Dalton Schultz said that, right? When he went to the Texans, he said, it's so great that we could actually concentrate on football. We couldn't concentrate on football in Dallas. Why would Ben Johnson want to go there? Wade Phillips going to Jacob Eric.
Oh, man. That's a good one.
Yeah, Sith wants to bring the Emilio Estevez character from Mighty Ducks. A movie I've yet to see, by the way. Is it any good?
It's all right. You know which one you should see? If you like a good comedy, a good parody, Balls of Fury.
Never heard of that one.
It's about ping pong, right?
Yeah.
But they put a twist to it. George Lopez is in that movie.
Oh, I hate George Lopez.
But he's not like the main character. He's like a side character, kind of playing a cop. That movie is funny as hell, dude. You got to watch that.
I remember a movie back in the day called Basketball.
Oh,
with the Parker brothers.
Basketball. I remember that one. Yeah.
Yeah. It's funny. Cowboys need a new head coach.
Jerry Jones is going to be the coach. He's going to say, F it, I'll do it now.
I think Cowboy fans are of the belief that their team is the one place that coaches want to go to.
No.
That they think to themselves, man, there's a star on that helmet. Dude, I bet you if NFL coaches ranked where they'd want to coach, I bet you the Cowboys are the bottom 5.
They know it's a circus here, dude. It's a clown show. Why would they want to come and be the next coach of the Dallas Cowboys? And not only that, you're going to be in the limelight, right? You're going to be in the headlines all the time. People are going to be very critical of what you do. And you look at the talent that you got to work with here. You're looking at the owner, and Jerry Jones is also the GM. What control do you have of the team?
Right. Well, let's go through the bona fides, the accolades of some of these guys. So Tom Landry, legend. They got rid of him in 88. They needed to. And I know a lot of Cowboy fans are like, you should let him leave whenever. No, he fucking sucked, dude. That was a 3-13 team.
So what? You're going
to get the hell out.
You think they should Tom Landry pop?
The same thing that was said about Pop before he had his stroke, which was, oh, he won titles and therefore he can just see his way out when he feels like it. If he wants to be here forever, that's fine. He deserves. No. Tom Landry deserved to be fired this moment he got fired. Okay. As a head coach, you get hired to be fired. And it was his time. Then Jimmy Johnson comes in, wins a couple of chips. Right.
Okay.
He's the one who orchestrated how all that went down with the Herschel Walker trade. And Jerry hates the fact that Jimmy Johnson gets more credit than he does. Right. But Jimmy Johnson was the one who not only helped facilitate that trade when it sounded weird to get rid of Herschel, but on top of that, for the trades to have compensatory picks attached to them, and for him to say, we don't want your players, we want your picks.
Yeah.
And then to do something with those picks. Then Barry Switzer comes in from OU, wins a chip with Jimmy's team.
Yeah.
Now let's see who the Cowboys have had as head coaches since then.
Yeah. Since Jimmy.
Chan Gailey.
Who?
Dave Campo.
Who?
A washed up Bill Parcells who had some juice left in the tank. Some gas. They had a quarter tank left, right? Wade Phillips, Jason Garrett.
The clapper.
And they had Mike McCarthy, who was a good coach.
Out of the last couple of coaches you said, Mike McCarthy was probably the best that they've had so far.
He was. But who's out there? I know you say Ben Johnson, but Ben Johnson could be winning championships with Detroit. We saw D'Amico Ryans leave San Francisco, and he was the head of their defense, made his way over to Houston, right? So there's always a hot offensive coordinator. There's always a hot coordinator of some sort that's going to make a move, right? But why would Ben Johnson want to risk his career to go to Dallas? I would argue that going to the Jets, that going to the Dolphins is a more attractive head coaching offer than going to Dallas.
Well, maybe there might be another vacancy for the Miami Dolphins here soon.
Yeah.
You know?
Sam Salinas, actually JHNSB saying Ime Udoka would have been the head coach right now if Pop had retired at the right time.
Pinche mancha cochino. That's a necio and a half right there.
Who's talking about Sean Payton? So the Cowboys not going out. That's a very good point, Sam. Sam reaching out on our YouTube stream powered by MCS General Contracting, our chat line, saying, hang on. Parcells was good. He just needed to go. Jerry not wanting to leave is why we missed out on Sean Payton. The Cowboys and Sean Payton should have been a deal, man. Sean Payton worked for the Cowboys back in the day. Yeah. Sean Payton, Super Bowl champion, head coach for the Saints. We see what he's doing right now in Denver, getting rid of Russell Wilson, drafting Bo Nix. Everyone thinking that he's out of his mind, leading that team to the playoffs. I know they lost the first round, but who would have thought that the Broncos were going to be in the playoffs this year?
Or be this good, you know?
He made them swallow a cap hit so hard. And they're like, look, we're going to suck for a year, but we'll be done with it, right?
Yeah.
Instead of just the Cowboys just ripping off the Band-Aid a little bit at a time. And now they signed Dak to $60 million a year. It's interesting.
Hey, you know what? We need to go ahead and give some love to
Jeff Garcia.
Locked On Spurs. Locked On Spurs is your daily Spurs podcast, hosted by Jeff Garcia, the lead Spurs writer for Ken's 5 San Antonio. Jeff has a healthy plethora of guests all the time on the Locked On Spurs podcast. You can also follow Jeff on threads at Jeff G Ken's 5 SA. You can also follow Jeff on Twitter at Jeff G Spurs Zone. So make sure you go ahead and give Jeff a follow, not only on threads and Twitter, but also on YouTube at youtube.com/@LockedOnSpurs. This is where you're going to be able to find the replay of the Locked On Spurs podcast. Make sure to like, subscribe, and share.
So on Jeff G Spurs Zone on Twitter and threads, an article that Jeff Garcia has about Wemby help funding 2 new basketball courts in France. Again, the Spurs in a couple of weeks will have back-to-back home games, if you will, against the Indiana Pacers in Paris, hometown of Victor Wembanyama. So again, follow Locked On Spurs on Spotify. Follow them on YouTube as well. More than 5,000 subscribers strong. They do a fantastic job. Jeff has been doing it for many, many, many years. Does an amazing job.
Yeah, and we also had some news break over the weekend, man. One of the things is one of the OGs, man, Spurs super fan, staple at the game at the arenas. Mm-hmm. Sofia Laranio. She's also known as the Spurs lady. Great person, individual that I've had the pleasure of running into numerous times when I've gone to the games and even like covering, some of the other, let's say, things that they had going on around town when it came to Spurs players. When I was doing this as part of the media for Project Spurs, I got to meet her at some of these events. Even she gave me this medal years ago.
Wow.
When they had David Robinson over at Fort Sam Houston. I was over there covering it for Project Spurs, and I met her there. We got to go ahead and interview David Robinson I was with Tom Petrini at the time. We were both there covering the event. I've run into her numerous times at the Frost Center with her husband as well. Great people. Man, we lost a staple there, a great one. She's the one that paved the way for the other super fans that we know of now. Like everybody knows of the Spurs, Jesus, Spurs, big homie, and any other person who donned a mask or a costume or whatever and went to the game, they owe that to Sovi for paving the way. She was an instrumental part of the Spurs community, and we lost a big part of that. So just go ahead and, pour some out and remember her. I'm sure they're going to have some announcements coming up here shortly in regards to the funeral or whatnot. But yeah, man, we lost a good one for the San Antonio Spurs team and community.
May she rest in peace. I mean, like you said, a staple at the games back at the Alamo Dome, probably the Hemisphere back in the day. Just lifelong fan. I saw an article on KSAT say that she had heart issues in the past, and that it kind of caught up with her. But may she rest in peace. And Spurs Nation lost a big one.
Yeah, and I couldn't believe that this had happened, because I remember I was like in such shock and disbelief that I called my brother up real quick. I called Fernandez and I was like, "Bro, is this true? Is this really happening?" And he was kind of like, "Yeah, bro." And we're kind of both like, we couldn't believe it was real, because you never know when it's going to be the last time you see somebody. Right. And you wouldn't figure like, oh, we still got some time, man. It's going to be great to go back into the Frost Center again and see her there. That was it.
Well, we lost her. We also lost the Nombre Go Spurs Go guy.
Yeah, we lost him too, man. It's like, again, man, don't take life for granted. If you don't always think that you're going to have a next time to meet somebody, right? If you're going to say something to them there, tell them right then and there. Make sure you tell your loved ones that you love them.
I noticed from Jeff Garcia's page, he just dropped his Locked On Spurs episode for today. He has Jack Thompson, also of San Antonio Sports Star, on today.
Yeah.
Jack Thompson, Rob's kid, is one of the most knowledgeable people you'll come across when it comes to college basketball. He lives and breathes college basketball, and today's topic is whether or not the Spurs should trade the Atlanta picks, because the Atlanta picks a little bit shaky these days. Atlanta playing 500 ball, right?
Yeah, man, it's not looking good.
NFL Network reporting that the reason why the Cowboys letting go of Mike McCarthy is that the two sides could not agree on the length of a contract.
He probably wanted 5. Jerry wanted to give him 3. He needs stability, because let's face it, man, Mike McCarthy, how many contracts does he have left in him, and how many teams are going to be really wanting to give him another shot? You're getting up there in age. You're only as good as your track record says you are, and it's still showing that he's a good coach. Not taking that away from him. I just think he was given a raw deal with Dallas, given the pieces that he has to work with, and he also having to contend with Jerry Jones.
That's the thing, having to contend with Jerry Jones.
And he still took this shitty team to 7-9.
If you could show my screen, it says Mike McCarthy today. He's leaving hell.
Free.
Free.
That's going to be you, Mike, when you finalize the divorce. I'm free. But we're going to celebrate once you do. Remember that.
I have the bottle.
You know what I'm going to do?
I have a bottle of Macallan's Macallan 15.
You know what I'm going to do for you when you finalize it? I'm going to take you to the cigar bar that they have over here on 1604 and IH10.
Yeah.
Right. It's right across from Rock and Bruce. I'm going to take you in there and I'm going to buy you a cigar.
Nice.
I'm going to sit you down. We're going to have a pour. And we're going to have a little stogie.
Mm-hmm. Very nice.
It's a nice place, dude. It's a nice place.
Yeah, we'll have to invite Rudy J, because he's all about the cigars.
Oh, dude. I'm going to get you a good one, though. I'm going to buy you a good cigar.
Yeah. Everyone have a fantastic day. I think the Spurs are back in action tonight. We didn't even talk about that.
Yeah, man.
Imagine that. We did a whole show without much Spurs talk today. Spurs back in action tonight against the Lakers on NBA TV. Tip-off at 9:30. It's going to be a late night. Lakers only favored by 3.5 points. Interesting, because Lakers have owned us this year. Clippers back in action tonight as well, taking on the Heat. That's going to be a 9:30 start. Looking at the standings right away, by the way, over the weekend. Spurs dropped out of the top 10, Joe.
Don't say it ain't so. Look at
Phoenix leapfrogged us.
Look at. What does it say? Women lie, people lie, but the numbers don't lie, Mike.
Mm-hmm.
And what does it say here?
It means that when it comes to the race for the top 10 spot, as of right now, we're gone.
What did I tell Spurs fans when they were at number 10? Oh, the Spurs are still in the play-in tournament,
but
even though you're talking shit about the team.
But
hold my beer.
But right now, if the season was to end right now, the Spurs would have the 10 pick and possibly the 11 pick.
Yeah.
So it's getting a little bit better on that aspect of
But
things.
what's happening right now, Mike? They're 18 and 19, right? They're number 12 on the outside looking in. What's looming ahead?
The rodeo road trip.
That's going to be the make or break of the season.
Tank.
What do you think's going to happen on the rodeo road trip? How many games you think that this team is going to win?
It's like Rocky 3. Can you make a prediction?
You know what? I'm going to say that they ain't going to win a damn thing. They'll be lucky they come away with one win.
Mexican Junior saying we're going to get back into the Cooper flag running.
There you go.
That's what I'm talking about.
Tank for Rush.
Hey, remember when
Tank for Clag.
remember when there was a 14% chance of the Spurs getting the number 1 overall pick?
I remember that.
At the number 10 spot and the 11th. If we had the 10 and 11 pick, right?
Mm-hmm.
The Spurs would have a 21% chance, a little bit better than a 1 in 5 chance of getting into the top 4 with one of those picks.
Oh.
So you're saying there's a chance.
But what are they going to do with that? They go and pick, like say they get a number 4 pick or number 5 pick. They pick that player and then be like, Spurs pick so-and-so at number 4. And then 10 minutes later, Spurs have traded away that number 4 pick for picks.
The Spurs are 1 game away, a game and a half away from picking 10, 11, 12. That is funny, Joe.
What did we say at the end of the day, Mike? 35-38, right?
Yeah. It's probably going to be 35.
We were right about a lot of things on this show so far.
Mm-hmm. Is Sohan playing tonight?
I don't know. Dude.
Hey, before we go, we probably should have led with this. Now that I think about it. We were talking about the fires.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just have to admit defeat. This AI that Mike LaHertz did of me with Yolanda Saldivar is the funniest thing I've ever seen in my entire life.
Who he is? He's Midtown, Texas.
Midtown.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go. Midtown. That is the funniest thing. We'll talk about this tomorrow as well. This is the funniest thing I've ever seen. I was in the middle of a thrift store with my girlfriend, and my jaw dropped.
Did you show it to her?
Did not. No.
Oh, come on.
So Midtown, I salute you. That was a good one, dude.
You gonna pick up Yolanda when they release her?
Nah, dude, not at all, man. I don't want to get shot.
No,
I don't want to get shot. And on top of that, I already got me a girl, dude. I already got me a girl. Where's she at? She's somewhere in here. There she is. I got me a girl. That's my girl.
There you go.
That's my girl. Real fast. Where was it on here?
I thought I saw Gabby girl.
Oh yeah, Gabby with her new job at KSAT 12. Congrats to my daughter Gabby.
There you go. Congrats, Gabby.
Digital content producer. So if you see articles on ksat12.com, if you see them on Facebook or you see them on Twitter, look at the byline when it says who wrote it. If it says Gabby Jimenez, you know it's my daughter who did it. She's really, really good. She's amazing. But I saw this the other day, and it says did you realize that Dua Lipa is Cher reincarnated?
Wow.
Dude, I can't unsee it now. Are they the same person?
No. Cher don't look like that no more, bro.
No, I mean, but Cher of the 60s.
Yeah.
Compared to Dua Lipa of the 2020s.
Nah, Dua Lipa finer than Cher, bro.
I mean, I'm not saying that you're wrong.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is that it's a little bit. Mexican Junior saying that Yolanda's a hot little nugget. I don't think so.
Jeez, bro.
I'll take my nugget, man. So again, I will wave the white flag.
They're saying
Midtown, you got me.
They said Sohan won't play, so the Spurs should win, right, guys? We'll see.
Tony saying that life comes full circle. Congratulations, he met his family. I am proud of my daughter. I will say this though, she's an excellent writer.
There you go.
She's excellent writer.
We need to get her on the show, man. It'd be fun to get her on the show.
She's gonna have Thursdays and Fridays off, so we'll have to make that happen, man.
Yeah. Get Gabby girl on.
Gabbing with Gabs.
I like it, dude.
And we'll have a fantastic day. We did an hour 45 today, man.
Yeah.
Hour 40. Very nice. Hey, hit the like button on the way out, truckers. Oh, and one other thing, my number is 210-508-0369. 210-508-0369. I do financial advising from retirement accounts to life insurance, disability, long-term care. Give me a call, 508-0369. My work is already calling. I got to let everybody go. Have a fantastic day and go Spurs go and go Vikings.